Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest and a special episode that I have entitled, Is This How Fairies Enter Our World? To find out the answer to this question and to allow you to determine if you agree with how I'm thinking or not, I'm going to take you to a very magical place called Vegors Cemetery. It's in Stanhope, Iowa. And the photographs that I will be showing you on this special video will be from July 30th, 2017. Now, for those who are familiar with my channel and for those who are not, what I do is I go out to various locations and I take photographs, hoping that I will be able to capture fairies within them. I have been very successful in taking photographs of fairies and have shared many videos with all of you. Keep in mind that I spell fairies, F-A-E-R-I-E-S, because I want to be sure that I am not singling out any kind of fairy. Spelled this way, I'm saying many different species of fairy or fae. So with that said, I'm going to share a few pictures of this magical location with you, and then I'm going to attempt to answer that question that this whole video is based on. So let's get moving. On the picture you see on your screen, there is a circle in the bottom right-hand corner, and this was our greeting to Vegors Cemetery that day, which I was very excited about. In this particular case, whereas I just explained I spell fairy as F-A-E-R-I-E and not F-A-I-R-Y, well, in this case, we photographed a fairy like Tinkerbell, but only male, I believe. So let me show you a bigger picture of this fairy. Here it is. I've made it larger on the right-hand side here. You can see hair, and the face is in profile, but we can see an eye, a nose, a mouth, an ear. We can see the body and down to the legs, which the legs are together, very straight. We can see wings, and it looks like this fairy is actually holding something, almost like reading something or perhaps tallying something. Whatever it's doing, it's a fairy, and it was a really exciting find at this magical location. Now, there are 3 monuments in this Vegors Cemetery that give a very strong history. And if you noticed on the Vegors Cemetery sign, it said founded in 1849. And I think this shares with you the magic of this place. So this memorial actually has a skull on the top, as you can see, and it says this memorial marks the most northerly of 5 Indian mounds in this cemetery, donated in 1960 by E.H. Hawbaker. So the second monument is one for Mrs. J.N.O. period, not sure what that first name is, H. Lott, L-O-T-T. She died January 1849 from exposure of Indian raid. She was the first white woman settler in Webster County, where Vegors Cemetery is located. The third and final monument that will kind of give you an idea more so of how unusual Vegors Cemetery is. This monument states, here in 1960 were reburied the bones of several prehistoric people of this region who were originally buried as a bundle is in quotes, on a hilltop southeast of the mouth of the Boone River. Now, prehistoric people is kind of an odd term. If we're talking Native American people who had lived here once, they mentioned that previously in obviously the other 2 monuments, but in this case it was prehistoric people and buried in a bundle, quotes. So this kind of gives you an idea of how absolutely fantastic this cemetery is. And I know that there are some stories online about it that I found many years ago that were concerning it being haunted, but that is not the focus of this particular video. What I'm going to show you next is the actual photograph that I took of a fairy that makes me, or that gives me an idea of how they are coming in and out of our dimension, how they are forming themselves, what they're using to do so, other than energy, and of course with energy. Now again, this is just my take, so you go with it where you wish, but I thought I'd share. Here is the picture, the full picture, that the fairy whom I found coming out of a leaf is showing itself. And I believe that they form themselves, as has been shown in many of my pictures, out of sticks, out of leaves, out of trees, out of so many different things. And there is no limit, I don't believe, to how their energy can work with all the things of nature that we have on the earth. So I wanted to make sure you saw the entire picture that I have. Unfortunately, because of the difference in the size of camera versus the screen we can use on YouTube, the picture looks small here, but this is 100% squished down to what YouTube will allow. So let's move on to the actual larger picture. So as you can see on the right-hand photo, we can see the profile of a being, a fairy, fae. We can see the eye, the nose, the mouth, the chin. We can see an ear. And you can see that it is coming out of the center portion of that leaf, out of where the main vein would run, and it's kind of stretched as though coming out. And the direction of like from the neck to, say, the cheek that you can see in the lines, you can tell that it's coming out of that leaf. So what this fairy would have formed into, I have no idea. I don't know what species it would be. However, I did find it very fascinating to see how it is possible for them to come into our dimension. And it's something that I've kind of wondered. I know that probably they can energetically just appear, but it makes sense that they would use something that if they came in where there could be danger, they could quickly morph into that object. And I have seen that happen many times. And in fact, some of them are working on perfecting their blending into their surroundings. So sometimes the coloring isn't just right. This is a fantastic picture. I was very excited to get it. I just really wanted to share this with you because it was a very, very unique photo. And granted, it was taken in 2017. I've seen it many times over, but as you continue to photograph fairies, new things come to mind, new ideas, new thoughts about them. And this one, I never noticed it as a possibility of someone coming in, a being coming into our reality until now. So that's this video. I do hope that you have enjoyed not only the history of Vegors Cemetery, but the possibilities that this brings to mind for anyone who enjoys the fairy world. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. There are a lot of really fun videos coming forward. So until the next video, take care.